Leo, this is your forecast for June 2017, and thank you for following us here this month. And you know what? You have decisions to be made just as you're starting off the month, and I think it's a good thing. Why? Because it looks like you've been probably contemplating it for a while. I won't say procrastinating, but it's as if there's a certain situation that's been lingering in the back of your mind. Now you're going to be able to push through and actually do so already on the 1st, so pay attention to it. That will start speeding up your process because there has been some lingering back and forth. Of course, we had the retrogrades. Venus is now, thank God, on the upmarch now, picking up speed. And not only that, but it's delightful to know that Jupiter is going to be on our side a little bit later this month and move forward again. So whatever has been moving a little slow, it was all meant to be. Hopefully all of you have used this time to go back over, tweak and refix, whatnot, get all your ducks in a row so that when we are, by the conclusion of this month, really on the forward march, that you can start seeing wonderful actions taking place in your life. We have on the June 10th, that is when Jupiter will kick into action. We have Mercury retrograde already now also getting on board and picking up speed, as well as is Venus. So all we got left right now is Saturn. Also, of course, Neptune and Pluto, but they're the external planets so far out we don't really notice them in our day-to-day life. That's more like an overall long-term process that we'll see as we come to a conclusion of it. But Saturn, we can still feel that will be in August. We still got a couple of more months with it to August 26th. Saturn for you is in your 5th house, so that has to do with children or your own self-expression, your creativity. So if it's not coming out fully, you are definitely feeling it on the inside, and that's where Saturn wants you to look now, Leo, to work with it. What is really calling your name, right? And so I could see a lot of extra work, and of course Saturn always wants to see you grow, so it may be holding you by the nose to the grindstone, right? Focus, dedication, responsibility, burdens of really having to actually birth yourself, because that's what you are doing. When Saturn is direct now in this area, you won't have a Saturn retrograde again here for another 29 years. So it's Saturn's gift to you to get it right. Okay, you could do that for another couple of months. So on the 3rd, we have Venus and Uranus. They're going to meet up, which they do annually once a year. This is taking place in your 9th house for higher education or your higher thinking, your mental, spiritual state of philosophy, where you fit in the big picture and so forth. And it's also travel, so there could be some good news or some unexpected experience if you're out and about traveling. Hey, this is a great day for it. Uranus always brings us that surprise, right? And some of you might have a surprise visitor coming from afar. It could be that way too. But if you've been waiting, Leo, for, say, a publisher to get back in touch with you to publish your work, or somebody else taking on your assignment, this could be a day where that could be good news for you. If you've been waiting for a green card, a visa, travel documents, or maybe a lawsuit settlement, again, these are days that you want to look at. The 3rd and the 4th, because not only do we have Venus and Uranus conjunct, but the Sun is coming in to a beautiful trine of Jupiter. The Sun being you, Jupiter being everything generous, everything that expands in its generosity to you. We have the Sun in the 11th house for hopes and dreams, right? And your Jupiter in the 3rd house for communication and news, documents, contracts, and so forth. So I can see how you're starting off June with something that feels great. That's how I can say it. Now, on the 4th, we do have a little bit of communication that we need to kind of look a little closer at, because the Sun and Neptune are square, meaning communication can be a little muddled or confusing. Neptune, when he or she, depending how you want to term its gender, when it's moving in a great aspect or transit, it really opens up the ideal concept of what it is we dream and hope for, right? It's spiritual, it's creative. But whenever it's challenged, well, then it kind of gets a little muddled. So a little bit careful on the 4th to make sure that you're reading any kind of fine print if you're doing contracts. I'd like to say too that on the 4th, since Mars is changing signs, it's ingressing here into the sign of Cancer from your 11th house in Gemini. So what does that mean? Well, Mars has really been plowing along, pushing for you to accomplish those dreams, okay? So you've been like this chariot moving ahead. Now when it's moving into the sign of Cancer, that's a sign of nurturing. It's not just about accumulating all the insight, knowledge, wisdom, and so forth, but now it's more like to feed your soul. The 12th house is all about our internal spiritual selves. So you will just feel perhaps that Mars has given its last blast and now he needs to power up, which he does once every 2 years before he starts off on a new 2-year journey. He's going to take approximately a month. So you're going to feel that you may not be as publicly out there after this time on the 4th, but recharging your batteries. Do those things that feeds the soul. Meditation, yoga, go for a hike, whatnot. Sleep, take your power naps. Anything where Mars can just recuperate, that is fantastic. And then on the 6th, we get Venus coming in here to Taurus. So again, changing from one sign to another. It's out of your 9th house of long distance travel, any kind of commitments you have with publishers or so forth, of the higher education. Now it's all about career. Venus is going to power up now the rest of this month, looking at the possibilities that could be served you. It only comes to this area, Leo, once a year. So this is a time where Venus, which rules money and worth and value, if you are having, say, a review or an interview at this time, you're definitely going to be coming across very charming, and also as somebody who knows your own self-worth, what you're good for, so you can also negotiate money, fees, and so forth, contracts, yes, financial in that respect. Venus too, when it moves into Taurus, we're going to feel more Taurian, regardless of what sun sign we are. And so how does Tauruses really act? You are a Leo, right? So as a Leo, you're outgoing, you're warm, you're charming, you're dynamic, you love to have fun. Taurus, however, this is where Venus is going to express through you the Taurian quality, which is all about wanting to hone in and secure. Think about Tauruses. They're really good with money. They're really good with contracts. They're really good about securing their foundations. So Venus right now this month, as it moves through Taurus, you're going to think like, you're going to act like, more so at Taurus. Even when it comes to the matters of heart and love, you will be more in the pursuit of wanting to secure the love that you have between you and your partner. So on the 9th, we have Venus and Mars. They're coming together doing the dance in such a beautiful way. When they are harmonious, that's when everything romantically will harmonize, it will come together, it will gel. You'll feel like you're on the upward motion here in your romantic relationships. Venus now in the sign of Taurus and Mars in the sign of Cancer. Those two energies, they blend because water feeds the soil, the earth. So yes, you can come to see how this will really work for you, not only as far as the goals that you're reaching for, but also in the harmonious inner longing and need as well. So your hopes and dreams, I feel, can manifest here around this time. But it's a date you really want to circle on your calendar for a romantic evening or to meet somebody new if you're single. On the 13th, you can expect some good news. I feel it has to do with you expanding where you're at. It has to do with your career. So it could be an opportunity, maybe it's a review, or maybe it's even something from the past coming in that you didn't see earlier, but which now is right there in front of you. I'm sensing that this could be, it could be close by in your community, but it could also be from a travel distance away, not necessarily far, far away, but somebody that you've been interacting with in the past could come back and connect with you and present that. So, which brings us to the 14th. Again, you've got to be a little careful though with communication. We said so on the 4th, when the Sun and Neptune, they were square, meaning they were in a challenged position. Now Mercury, which rules communication, is also in that same square. So it's a little bit of a repeat here on the 14th as you had on the 4th. So mark that on your calendar too. Any kind of new obligations, make sure that you are hearing what whoever is saying and vice versa, just so it doesn't create a misunderstanding. On the 18th, there might be a consequence to it if you weren't listening, because now Mercury is opposing Saturn, right? So here we go. Here we had the blooper on the 14th. On the 18th, you have an opportunity to actually balance it back up, get back on track, and you're good to go, because by the 20th, I feel harmony is restored, your values are restored. Actually, this is a very romantic day on the 20th. Not only do we just have a Venus and Mars scenario, but now we have Venus and Neptune. So Neptune's a higher octave of Venus. So this is like ultra creative or ultra romantic. This is where everything ideal is coming into the picture. So yeah, you know, this is beautiful. I feel a spiritual connection, a soulmate, twin flame kind energy that can enter this scene or the experience here on the 20th. For any of you who are artists, musicians, so forth, oh, you could download a lot of inspiration and vision on this day. It's a great time to meditate, get in touch with that inner beautiful ability to visualize. Then we have on the 21st, we got a couple of things happening. Both the Sun and Mercury both will be changing signs on the same day, out of the sign of Gemini, where you've been out and about and very social, communicative, spending a lot of time with friends perhaps, but now you're going to feel the need to step back. Now we already have Mars in this area, but now the Sun and Mercury, which is you and your ability of communication and sharing, is going to need to take a little step back and nap. And you will enjoy it. You will just feel it's very natural. It's like feeling a little bit of a deflation after a period where you've been so outgoing. Think about the ocean, ebb and flow, right? So you've been flowing so much and now you're just needing to ebb. And when you do that, you nurture your inner self. This will be with you for the rest of this month and into here that of July. But it's a good time to be creative. You know, listen to your subconsciousness, your higher consciousness, and so forth. It's a beautiful spiritual and creative time. The 24th, 25th, well, I see action. This has to do with money, Leo. Money coming in, money maybe perhaps even going out. But there could be some talks about perhaps a raise or maybe commissions or money owed to you from prior could come back, but it could also be upon a new contract, a new job that you're starting, an additional maybe layer of funds, or yeah, you will see what that is. But this is definitely a money day for you. That's the 24th. Be sure that you don't run out and spend it all the next day on the 25th once you hear it. And I say that because Mars will be squaring off on Jupiter, and Jupiter is like, yay, there's extra money. It might be burning a hole in your pocket. As long as you have something earmarked that you know it needs to go to, you're all good, right? Sometimes we gotta blow a little money to have a little fun too. On the 28th, and coming to the end of the month, I feel that there's such a beautiful flow. You seem to be such in harmony with what it is you're thinking and what it is you are doing. That's not always the case with all of us. You know, sometimes we're thinking one thing and not getting it out because other circumstances are holding us back. And so there's like this touch and go, this push and pull on energy between the mind and the heart and action. But right now it's like you're seeing it and you're simply doing it. Now that is a beautiful sense of synchronicity. That's what I'm getting for you, Leo. And of course we got the moons. And listen, we got that beautiful full moon on June the 9th, which will fall into your 5th house of creativity, self-expression. Something here is going to be lit up. And I feel that this is a time for you where you can stand in the limelight of certain accomplishments, especially anything that is creative, but there could also be one of your children taking the limelight here and attention on this day. The new moon towards the end of the month, which will be June 24th, on the other hand, will be in your 12th house. So that's where we place our intentions and have those new seeds that we want to grow. And what should those intentions be? Well, Leo, it's like I can see at this point you've already stepped back. You've already been getting a lot more rest, powering up the inner self so that you can come out strong when it gets into that 1st house. So your intentions this month would beautifully be, I promise to take more time off to myself just to have quiet time. Quiet time is definitely so important for a healthy and well-balanced spirit and soul, so that should be what you should place on that 24th. So listen, Leo, as always, it's wonderful to share with you. Thank you for following, and thank you for all your comments. I read them all, even if I don't always get to write back. But listen, I'll see you in July. Have a wonderful month.